Now you can argue about all the points being scored or tallied or what, but they definitely came with great energy, and I thought that was a credit to them and their coaches. So that jumped out, and I told them that. That was the first thing I told them out of the gate. And then we got into things that we're going to build upon. The core characteristics of what I believe it takes to win. Talked about some of the tough, smart, dependable. How you can lose games before you can win them. So there's a lot of things that the media heard today that they already did, but there was some stuff that was specific to our hearts that probably stay in that room.
What's the balance between wanting some of the seniors back? Do you want them all back? How do you balance that moving forward?
I think it's a work in progress. I'm not trying to avoid the question. I just mean seriously, if a young man wants to come back for the right reasons, and he can bring a value to us, obviously if he hasn't graduated, so to finish his degree would be the biggest thing we could accomplish for him. So when that football is done, he's got something to lean on, but it's really a work in progress to find out exactly what they want, and for me to be able to provide that to them as a head month.
So you go to 10 bowl games in 12 years at your previous 2 stops. Illinois has been to 10 bowl games in 30 years. Wow. How much consistency do you feel like you can bring in a program that really hasn't had that, making a bowl game every year?
Right, it's a great point for one reason. I think the thing that Josh said to me early on in this process was to sustain success. It's not just to have success, right? Because then that can be short-lived. He wants to sustain success. And I think the part that we have to do as coaches is put together a staff, put together a calendar, put together a plan that allows those kids to understand what it means to have success over a period of time.
What are the main things you're looking for, Bret, in an offensive and defensive coordinator, and how important are those hires for your success here early on?
Oh, they're critical. I'm a head coach that really believes in letting those guys coach and do what they do. I think special teams coordinator is just as critical. There's really 4 facets to your program that are really untouchable, and that's your offensive and defensive coordinators, your special teams coordinator, and the director of strength and conditioning, the guy that runs all the programs when they're not in the field. And it's going to be paramount to find those guys, put them in the position they are, and let them have success.
Did you learn anything about hiring those right guys, though, and tying that to your success in terms of you being on the same page, whether that's schematically or theoretically or whatever else you're trying to get accomplished?
Yeah, it's definitely not anything more and simple than to be on the same page, have great communicators, have great teachers, and let them do their job. I think about, when I left my first institution, it was really in a facet to try and get more money from my assistants, and I quickly realized money isn't everything. You can't buy a good coach. You have to, be able to be competitive. I understand that, but it's more along we got to find 10 assistants to fit our mode, to fit our mode of operation here at Illinois, and then that will in itself affect the roster overall.
Did you learn anything about being in the NFL the last 3 years that can help you in the college game?
Absolutely. I remember getting done with that first set of drills and in the spring, and I got done, and I was talking to somebody. I'm like, man, these guys are good, and they're like, yeah, Bret, they're the best players in the world. And I'm like, I started laughing because it's all relative, right? You always want better. But as coaches, you're like, oh, I want that guy to do this a little bit better. But it's about working and understanding what the player's skill set is. You want to maximize their strengths and minimize their weaknesses. And for me, that doesn't matter really now after being 3 years in the NFL or after 25 years of coaching college football. The more you can maximize and minimize, those 2 areas are huge.
You seem really happy with your family.
Yeah.
Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, they're a shining light. My wife and I, we made the conscientious decision when we got married to kind of wait to have kids so we could enjoy each other. I got married a little bit later in life, and we really enjoyed just us, and what that meant, traveled a little bit, and now as kids, it's totally changing the world that we live in, and I told that story about laying there with my daughter, teaching her how to do the ILL chant was truly some memory that I'll never be able to stop, running in my head.
What is that dynamic like, though? Because you're in New Jersey, you're
Yeah.
on the East Coast, you're in New York. You seem like a Midwest, small-town, college town kind of guy. Is that true?
Well, it'll be just short-lived for them to be there until we move or find a house here in this area that we want. So it'll be very, very short-term, but it does, weigh on my heart on any day when I'm not around them. And really, in the NFL, it sounds crazy, right? But I mean, I would leave on Saturday this year because of COVID. I would leave Saturday morning before they got up. So last time I'd see them is I'd get to put them in bed on Friday night, and then I never saw them again until the next Friday when I got home about 4. I was never home during daylight hours to see them. So that's probably the biggest change, is that you're going to actually be able to see them in some capacity. I mean, they'll be allowed to come to practice. I want my coaches and their families to be around practice at the end, and we'll have different events, because I think players love to see you engage with your children, because that brings them home to their family. So it's definitely something I'm excited to bring to the atmosphere.
Just last couple quick hitters
Yeah.
here. Tell me something that people might not know about you.
All-state tuba player.
Tuba.
Can't say it was really good, but it was on an all-state band, yeah.
When's the last time you played a tuba?
Oh, man, probably I remember it was homecoming. After we were done playing, I was an assistant at Iowa, so probably like 1994.
Okay. What's your favorite food?
I am a sushi guy. Like, I am kind of excited to find what the best sushi place is here in the Champaign-Urbana area because I do love sushi.
All right. What's your favorite dessert?
I'm not a dessert guy. I know it doesn't look like it, but I'm not a big dessert guy. The only thing that I like once in a while is my wife. She's a big key lime pie girl, so
Okay.
I'll eventually join in that sometimes.
All right. And what's your favorite vacation spot?
Any place where you can wear sandals and sandals or flip flops, and put on a lot of sunscreen. That's my favorite place to get to.
Are you a short and flip flop kind of guy all year round, no
I
matter
think the
how
world would be a better place if no one wore shoes. I think flip flops just make everybody feel a little bit better. We have a little tradition of flip flop Fridays. Just as you get better and as you start winning games, that intensity and that stress level building up to a game gets real. And anything you do to put them at ease. So literally all day Friday, I loved and always encourage my players to wear flip flops and just feel free and put yourself in a position to let it go on Saturday. So hopefully we'll be at a point to have a little flip flop Friday here.
One last question here. You seem to want to have fun.
Yeah.
Right? Like football inherently is fun. And it
100%.
seemed like the guys, at least on the first quarter on Saturday, were having fun. How much will you just embrace the fact that football should be fun and that the guys should have fun and that it is serious, but at the same time, it's fun?
Yeah, Brett, that's a great perspective. The first time any of us played the game, it wasn't because it was on ESPN, 8 o'clock, and the game day crew was up calling your game. You did it because they put a ball on the field. There was a little patch of grass, and you got a chance to play football. That's what it's always about, and we should never lose sight of that.